So I'm trying to tell you to control what you can. And have faith that it's going to work out. How many have faith in here? How many? I knew it. I'd love being in the South. Yes! It's another reason I'm going to come to work here. I learned about faith, well, this last, I've always had a strong faith. Like, that's just a given. That's how we grew up. But you know how sometimes there's those defining moments where your faith gets really, really strong? Anybody have those moments where you go, wow, I can remember that. You know, by the grace of God, we're saved, so we know, okay, we got that. But we take that for granted. How many take that for granted? Anyone? Yeah, I do. Oh, a number of years ago, it's been about 12 years now, I learned about faith that changed my life forever. And I take it everywhere with me now. And I learned it from an 8-year-old girl. That 8-year-old girl was probably the busiest, most rambunctious. Some days she was ADD. I wanted, whenever I was around her, I wanted to just about hang her by her collar. Busy, independent, strong-willed, you name it. When you were around her, it was fast-paced. And she played football, that independent 8-year-old girl. She played football for the Fertile Falcons football team. She was the only girl on the Fertile Falcon football team in 6th grade. 5th grade. And I remember her, I know this because this is that beautiful Bitsy with the capital B. I remember in October, it was about this time exactly, and all summer long she had been saying, oh, my leg hurts, my leg hurts, my leg hurts. And then it would go away. My leg hurts, it would swell up, go away. Well, if you're at our house, unless it's dangling, bleeding, or like a limb is off, you just don't, we live like 35 miles from the nearest doctor, so I can handle it with glue usually, or we have animals, we have horses and stuff, so you can do anything with that glue these days. It's amazing. That was before all the glue we have now. It was like super glue. And so I didn't really pay attention. Well, in October, there was like MEA. It was almost right around now. I brought her in because we had a couple days off. I brought her into the doctor, and it's never a good thing when the doctor says, Reneé, are you here alone? Oh, look at, there's like a theme in this. Reneé, are you here alone, just you and Betsy? I said, yeah. Well, do you want to call Tom? And she was in getting more x-rays, and went from x-rays to MRI to blah, 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 blah. And anyway, we called Tom, and I'll never forget sitting in this room that was, I don't know, the size of this. And for a moment, that room seemed like it was about the size of my thumb. It got real small. And our family doctor said, this is not my expertise, and he had a radiologist in there, he had himself, he had the oncologist, that's never a good sign, and then he also had a bone specialist. What's that? Bone? Orthopedic surgeon. So, and I know them all because I'm on the board at the hospital, of course you are, it's a small town, everyone does everything. And he said, we believe that she has a really rare bone tumor. Like about right here. And he said, the good news is I did a fellowship with this guy down at the University of Minnesota, the Pediatric Kids Cancer Center, that's a head of orthopedic pediatric oncology. That was his expertise. So within 24 hours, we were down at the U going through all these tests, and in a moment your life changes. And she was so happy, like always happy. She's been happy since she was born. And couldn't care less. She knew what was going on. She knew that, you might not even have a leg when you come out. And they're prepping her for surgery. They're doing all this. And the day that my faith changed, that became the cornerstone of my work and my relationships, it was that day. As she's getting ready to go to surgery, they're putting the mask on, said, do you want, just a second, do you want cherry or orange flavor, or, and it's so weird. At the kids, at the pediatric hospitals, like one parent can go in and you have this rabbit suit, like your mask has got like ears, and you have like your slippers are like a big thing, and you got whiskers. You're the only rabbit in the surgical suite for sure. And so I'm wheeling in with her with my rabbit outfit on, and as I'm in there, it's a training and teaching hospital at the U, and it's very rare. This tumor is very rare, so we've got everybody in the surgical suite. And waiting for Dr. Closey, the magic, to come in, who is amazing. And I'm looking at her going, I can't believe this is going to happen today. I just can't believe this. And she's in there, and everybody in that surgical suite, how many people are in nursing here? Again. Okay, you guys wanted to talk about teamwork. This is the best example of teamwork I'm going to give you today. I walk in as the mom, or with her, and one of the nurses says, well, look at who we got here. And they're laughing, they're talking. I said, you are in the right place. Isn't she in the right place? Everybody started talking to us. Next guy says, oh my gosh, Reneé, we just want to tell you, Mom, we just want to tell you, you have the best surgeon. You have nothing to worry about. How do you think that made me feel that day? How do you think that made the mom feel? Confident. Man, he's the best. The next one said, hey Mom, he is so awesome. If something happened in my house or in my family, adult or kid, he'd be the one. We'd bring him here. How do you think that made the mom feel? How do you safer? How do you think that made his team feel? How do you think his team felt about him if they were saying this? He's the man. He's the guy. And just about that time, in there comes Dr. Closey, and he comes through the doors, and he's bigger than life, but he's only about 5'6", but he's bigger than life, and he's got 5 kids of his own. And my daughter and him have had all these previous conversations. She loves football, she loves to hunt, she loves all this stuff. And he walks in and he says, hey team, how is everybody? And everyone's like, hey Dr. Close, hey Dr. Close, hey Dr. Close. And they're all, giving him the nod, the wave. And he said, he looks at this one guy and he walked up to him and he goes, hey. He said, Jim, how was the honeymoon? And he winks at him. And he goes, I thought you'd still be gone. And Jim was like, hey, Dr. Closey, thanks for giving the extra 2 days off. It was awesome. How do you think his team felt about that? And then he walks up to the other gal and he says, Dorothy, he said, how is your mom? Did that work out with Dr. So-and-so that I referred her to? How is she doing? Did she have her treatments yet? How is she doing? How do you think that made Dorothy feel? What do you think for a team? How do you think that made the team feel? Acknowledged. And then he said, okay, is our rock star here? And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, maybe Miley Cyrus is here doing a make-a-wish. Seriously, you guys, I'm serious. And he said, where's our rock star? And then he walks over to my daughter. Well, there she is. And she's so teeny. She looks so teeny. She's got big, huge blue eyes. She's adorable. She's on this gurney that she seems so tiny. And he said, look, here's our rock star right here. He goes, you know this girl right here, everyone? Team, do you know she's the running back for the Fertile Falcons football team? Does everybody know that? How do you think that made my daughter feel? As the team leader in there, how do you think that made my daughter feel?
Spatial.
How do you think that made me feel? Strong. I got the right guy leading the charge. And he said, oh my gosh, and you go, she hunts and everything. She's amazing. He said, now do you have any questions, you little rock star? And she goes, if I change my mind on, she had buck teeth. If I change my mind back then, and I wanted orange to put me to sleep, could I have orange instead of green? He looks at the anesthesiologist and he goes, Joe, What can we do about that? He goes, that's not a problem, Dr. Crow. And he goes, Rockstar, I got you covered. How strong an orange do you want? He goes, I really like orange. I just changed my mind from grape. And Dr. Close said, are we ready, Mom? I said, yeah, I think I'm ready, you know. And he goes, okay. He goes, now, Rockstar, they're gonna get you counting down. And he goes, team, are we ready? And my daughter said, aren't we gonna pray first? Now, there's probably 13 people maybe in that room, because she was actually having 3 different surgeries, because she had the removal of the tumor, then she had the rerouting of her vascular, and then they were doing a whole bunch of grafting after, so there was really like 3 teams in there. And she goes, aren't we gonna pray first? And Dr. Closey said, I think that is a great idea, team. And they're like kind of giving the thumbs up. She goes, okay, could everybody hold hands? Obviously they're sterile. Lisa, that would be bad, right? Right, Lisa? Can everybody hold hands? I said, honey, they can't. They're sterile. They can't do that. Okay, well, just raise your hand. She's something else, you got it. And who do you think the first person to put their arms up was? Dr. Close. Like to the roof? What happened when he did that? Oh my gosh, like I thought we were going to lift the room up. Like I thought the surgical suite was going to be 10 feet high. And we're sitting there and Dr. Closey says, I'll pray. The little football player says, I got this, Dr. Closey. I can do it. Like, where did she come from? And I remember that 8-year-old laying there that looked so little and fragile. And to this day, I can see this room so full of life, surrounded by, surrounding this girl, but really this team surrounding this amazing man, because he had a big job to do that day. I'll never forget, my daughter says, dear God, thank you for letting everyone come to work today. I pray for strong hands and strong people. But mostly I pray that if something happens to me today, God, can you let my mom and dad know I know where I'm going? I looked at the orange guy and said, get the gas on! There wasn't like a dry eye in that room. And I remember walking, which seemed like the longest walk of my life, to the door to leave. Who do you think walked me to the door? Who do you think walked me to that door? Dr. Closey. He's a good leader. He just doesn't tell them what to do. He walks the walk. And he lifts them all up and lifts other people up when he can. That's a good leader. And he walks me and said, Mom, we got this. We got this. She's our rock star today. My job is to get her football cleats back on, Mom. We got this. I remember going outside the door, and the person, who's that person that's like, I thought I'd never forget who they are because they're so awesome. It's like the liaison for family services, like at the hospital. She was outside the door waiting for me. Of course she was. She was on Dr. Closey's team, of course she was. Anyway, she said, you're going to be okay, but I remember how it felt like, because the surgical suite was like, it just was so cold and sterile, but I can remember the blocks on the wall almost as my back slid down that wall. And before I left, Dr. Closey said, this was the best part, he goes, Reneé, I think that girl in there came here because she had a job to do. I think she's bringing people to the Lord. And then he winks at me, he goes, I hope she brings the right ones. So after 7.5 hours, who came out with the biggest smile on their face? Not his nurse, but I mean, many nurses came out and said, Dr. Closey wanted you to know, Dr. Closey this, Dr. Closey this, like, kept us like informed the whole time. Then who came out to see us? Dr. Closey. And the first thing he said is, man, you never know when you're going to touch someone. You never know who that's going to be. He said, I just want you to know we've had a long discussion in there. And he said, she got to the right one.